everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hard at Work, which is Bergen County's overdose awareness and resources, premiering and featuring our fine police officers. We are so fortunate to have, I think, over 3,000 police officers here in Bergen County, and all of them are our first responders on the front line, helping us through addiction crises, mental health crises, and they are there on overdose calls. And I want to thank everybody that's here tonight, and I want to thank Morgan Kennedy, who helps us produce these video virtual recordings, which are recorded and posted on YouTube afterwards on our Alumni and Recovery channel, which you can share with others. Please do. They're there to stay. Thank you, Morgan. And we have a beautiful night tonight because we have so many fantastic people from our county that are leaders of our county, that are valuable resources, and we're highlighting the police officers from Elmwood Park and Englewood police departments. So I thank you all for being here, and we are going to get started. We were just talking before we started the program about overdoses in our county, and luckily, you know, there are a lot of saves, and we have to really thank Narcan and naloxone for that. And we're going to learn more about that. The thing is what I know as a nurse and having worked in the field a long time and as a woman in recovery, I have learned that connection is key. And by connecting to everyone within the county that helps us and those that are just within the county, we can share our experiences, we can listen to each other and hear each other speak. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And we have a full lineup tonight, and we're going to get started because we have to let the chief of police of Elmwood Park go so he can leave for another meeting. So we're going to start right off and introduce Prosecutor Musella. I'm turning it over to you, Prosecutor. Thank you. Do you need to unmute, Prosecutor? You're muted.
How's that? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we most certainly can.
All right. Thank you, Nancy, and Happy New Year, Nancy, and Happy New Year, everybody. And I want to just thank Nancy and Dee and Morgan for again hosting these hard at work events. I've spoken to Nancy in the past and told her how valuable I think these events are. And again, I just want to thank her for really bringing attention to the efforts of law enforcement in Bergen County regarding this opioid epidemic and the fight that we're engaged in. So I want to thank Nancy for hosting these events. Again, I draw my inspiration from Nancy and other partners that are working with us to fight this epidemic. Events like this are important, and I say this all the time when I meet with Nancy and speak at these events, because you know these events draw attention to the opioid epidemic, draws attention to and raises awareness to the crisis. It connects people to treatment. That's what we hear, and it helps end the stigma surrounding substance disorder. So I want to thank Nancy. I just want to also talk a little bit about the numbers tonight. You know, as we know, in 2021, opioid overdoses in the United States were responsible for more deaths than accidents, motor vehicle accidents, gun crime, and the flu combined. The CDC reported for the first time in 2021 that overdose deaths in the United States surpassed 100,000 persons. So in Bergen County, I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are on the front lines and fight this epidemic every day, and for, I believe, the progress that we are making here in Bergen County. And again, it's law enforcement, and it's our partners like Nancy and the Center for Drug and Alcohol Resources and all our other partners that I'll thank at the end But the three things we're doing in Bergen County, three things that law enforcement is doing to fight this epidemic in Bergen County, and I talk about these three things, is prevention, connection, and diversion. Nancy mentioned connection, how important she felt connection is, and it is, and we're doing everything we can in Bergen County through every interaction with police officers and the public to connect people to treatment. So regarding prevention, of course, our interdiction unit is at the George Washington Bridge every day. We're intercepting heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, guns and drugs and money at the bridge every day in an effort to fight this crisis. But we're also in the classrooms every day. Every week, members of my office take part in the Pathways to Addiction program. So we talk to 7th and 9th graders every week, every Friday. We've been doing this for the last 6 years. In this presentation, we talk about the pathways to addiction, which are for our young people, usually as a result of a sports injury or some type of medical procedure where they're prescribed an opioid. So we try to educate them and we try to warn them of the dangers of prescription medication. And also then we see, we try to warn them about the dangers of experimentation with alcohol and marijuana and pills. We also partner with the Bergen County Utilities Authority, and we have a campaign where we try to urge residents to bring their unused medication to a drop box, not to share their unused medication, not to use or share expired medications, but to dispose of them responsibly. The Bergen County Utilities Authorities has quarterly drives, and of course, many of the police departments have drop boxes. Mahwah alone, in 1 month last year, Mahwah alone disposed of 340 pounds of unused and expired prescription medication. So that's the amount of prescription medication that we can imagine is in our medicine cabinets and can fall into the hands of our children. So second thing that I like to talk about is connection. Nancy mentioned connection. Connection is very important because, again, police officers are on the front lines, and it's our police officers in Bergen County that are playing an important role in connecting individuals to treatment for their substance abuse disorder. Since 2014, all police officers in Bergen County have carried Narcan by prosecutor's directive. Every time Narcan is deployed, a peer recovery specialist is called to the hospital to come and to where the person is taken and come in to talk to them and try to get them and connect them to treatment. The numbers I have for last year, there were 691 overdoses in Bergen County. 125 of them were fatal. Narcan was deployed 376 times by police officers in Bergen County last year. That's once every day. And as a result of that deployment, there were 257 Narcan saves. So lives were saved by police officers in Bergen County. 257 lives were saved as a result of the efforts of police officers in Bergen County last year. And I can't thank you enough for that. There's other programs that we have, obviously Operation Helping Hand, where we connect individuals to treatment in our office in Paramus. We go to open air drug markets, we make arrests, we bring individuals back to Paramus, we offer them a treatment by way of a peer recovery specialist and patient navigator that are on premises and working with them to try and get them to accept treatment. We also have a hotline now, an 800 number, Stop the ODs. This is a 24/7 hotline number. The phones are manned by a recovery specialist and a patient navigator. And so they'll get a live person on the line when they call. And we have found to date 500 people have called this hotline. And we have found that 83% of the people that have called have been connected to treatment. So by far, this is one of the most effective tools that we have. So please, we have cards. We hand them out at certain events. And please, I'd ask you to have these cards on hand in your police departments. We can make them available. And we want to get this campaign out there, Stop the ODs. And that's the phone, it's an 800 number, it's Stop the ODs, and that's how you can remember the number. The third thing I want to mention is diversion. We had the diversion program and we started in Fairlawn. I was the public defender at the time prior to being the prosecutor when we rolled out this program, and it was effective in that it was sort of like a municipal drug court where individuals that came to court were connected with a peer recovery specialist, patient navigator, who were, again, on premises that night. And at that point, they were offered treatment, and if they accepted treatment, they had an opportunity to complete treatment, and after 6 months, have their charges dismissed. We then expanded that program regionally. We have that program in 10 municipal courts at this time. And then we sought permission from the assignment judge, Bonnie Misdall, and the AOC, the Administrative Office of the Courts, to try and set up a Bergen County municipal drug court, if you will. We have approval. We're waiting on funds for that program from the AOC, and we had hoped to open that program by the end of the year. But God willing, that program will be up and running this year. And so therefore we'll have a central Bergen municipal drug court, if you will, a municipal drug court, where patient navigators and peer recovery specialists would be, again, on staffed and on premises, and all these type of cases will be referred to that court. We also have given permission to police officers to offer treatment at time of rest, again, because we want to get these individuals into treatment as soon as possible, connect them with treatment as soon as possible. So that is also an arrest initiative that we have instituted in Bergen County as well. So you can see all these three things that we're doing: prevention, connection, and diversion, are helping to educate, to stop addiction before it happens, and then to connect people to treatment and to divert them from the system. So we couldn't do it without the efforts of our partners. We couldn't do it without the efforts of all 3,000 police officers here in Bergen County. So I just want to thank Nancy. I want to thank Dee. I want to thank Morgan. I want to thank the County Office for Alcohol and Drug Dependency, the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources, Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, which is a partner of ours, of the Black Poster Project, of course, Alumni in Recovery, New Jersey Recovery Advocates, and all our other partners. And finally, I just want to thank our police chiefs, and I want to thank our 3,000 police officers here in Bergen County who fight this fight every day. And we could not do it without you. And I want to thank you for your service and your dedication and your sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very, very helpful. And also thank you for going into Old Tapan Middle School tomorrow. You're going into the Old Tapan Middle School for the Pathway of Addiction. That's my town. I thank you very much. That's great to hear. We're going to have to slide right on over to Chief Michael Foligno from Elmwood Park, because he's got somewhere to go. So I am so happy to have Elmwood Park here tonight. Turning it over to you, Chief. Oh, one thing, Chief, you say your jobs give you authority. Your behavior gives you respect. Morgan showed me that. Oh, yeah. We love that. Thank you.
I preach that every day to my guys. It's very important that we get that right.
It's a great thing.
So thank you for having me. I know one of you guys, I think it's Morgan, is a resident here in Elmwood Park. And I think that's how I got affiliated with this. I want to thank Prosecutor Musella, all the support that his office gives to the police departments in Bergen County. We couldn't do it without you, Prosecutor. You run such a professional organization, and we're really grateful to have you as our prosecutor. Thank you for all you do. So, I mean, Elmwood Park, hey, we're uniquely situated here, right? In a little corner of the county where we have Patterson as our border. Every major highway in North Jersey goes through us. So we see this stuff every day. I have a couple stats here. In 2020, we had 24 overdoses. That went up to 27 and 21, and in 22, 35. So the number's climbing. I believe it's, we're situated here in a strange place, and we got a lot going on here. We've always participated in Operation Helping Hand. We're out there doing the interdictions and trying to get the people that are using into treatment as quickly as possible. We're big fans of that. I personally have a very close family member that suffered an overdose about 5 years ago, six Narcans, and I didn't think, and I was there. I didn't think he was coming back, and he came back, and he's been in recovery and clean ever since. So it's it touches us all, yeah. And we're here to fight it on the front lines. It's not about so much enforcement anymore. We tried that, right? For years and years and years, and that didn't work. It's still kept happening. So the recovery, the partnerships, community policing, that's how we operate here. Make connections with the community, junior police academy, getting into the schools, making these partnerships, building the bridges. That's what law enforcement today is all about. And everything else will fall into place, right? We don't need to be those stormtroopers out there on the front lines, and that's why I have the quote, your job gives you authority, but it's your behavior, it's your interactions with the community, with the people that lets them respect you, understand you, and then we become partners and we solve things together. So that's what we're all about here in Elmwood Park. And we thank you for your support, and we are here for whatever you need. Anytime, call us. We'll be happy to jump on and do anything you guys want us to do.
And please, whatever you do, everybody, make sure you check out their Facebook page. That's how Morgan got me all involved with y'all, like right off the bat. You all have the most amazing videos and like fun, community-oriented activities. I love watching what you're doing.
Thank you. I believe that's what it's about, right? We have to make fun of ourselves. We can't take ourselves too seriously. We want people to see us as humans. Yeah, we wear a badge, a uniform, a gun, a body armor, but we're people too, and we understand the things people are going through. Empathy goes a long way, and that's what we're trying to build here, and I think we're getting it right more than we get it wrong.
Well put. Great. All right.
Thank you, Chief. Great job, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Prosecutor. I apologize. Sergeant Woods is going to stay on for a few more minutes. I have to run. I'm also the borough administrator, and I have a council meeting, and I don't want to piss off the council.
No, don't do that. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move right on along to our wonderful officers of Englewood. And tonight we have Detective Barry Miller and Detective Sergeant Leo Restrepo, because they were switched off in roles as the officer in charge of the Englewood's Juvenile Bureau. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to Sergeant Barry Miller at the event that the prosecutor puts on over in, I forgot, it was in Garfield. Anyways, that really great event. I sat right next to Barry, and he said he would participate in this. And we were just over at Englewood High School. So
you're talking about the SNAP conference. The SNAP
Thank
conference.
you. Yes, the SNAP conference. Yes, sat right next to Barry. Thank you. Anyways, hi Barry. Thank you, Sergeant.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to just come and to connect with you and to Prosecutor Musella and everyone that's participating. It's great to be here tonight. So, Nancy, you're right. We met at the SNAP conference and we had an awesome time together. Just hearing all of those wonderful presentations, and it's just a blessing, and it's important for us to continue to talk about addiction and how it impacts our community, but more importantly, to talk about the many different ways that we can help people on the road to recovery. When we talk about addiction, I know at the Englewood Police Department and in the city of Englewood, we often talk about how this impacts our communities. And I know that we all are aware that this is not just something that impacts the person who is struggling with addiction, but certainly this has an impact on our community. Obviously, our families are what make up our communities. And so when our loved ones are impacted by addiction, it impacts our families, which ultimately impacts our communities. And when it impacts our communities, then it begins to impact our schools. It begins to impact our public places like our parks and places where people go and congregate. And ultimately, it impacts our future generations and how they see people who are struggling with addiction and how they begin to see communities where addiction unfortunately becomes rampant. So we certainly see how these addictions can impact our communities. It not only impacts our schools or our public places, but it even impacts our houses of worship. It impacts us in the workforce. It impacts us even in higher education communities. And so it's something that we must continue to fight. I'm grateful for Prosecutor Musella, who is doing so much work on the front lines, talking about prevention and connection and diversion. We certainly at the Englewood Police Department are certainly doing our part to support that initiative. We continue to talk as police officers, even when we interact with one another, when we meet prior to going out on tour, on our tour of duty, before we get out there into the streets to connect with people. Oftentimes we do talk about how this epidemic has impacted our community, and it helps to humanize those people who are struggling and trying to really overcome this issue. We realize that this is not just something that people tried it and all of a sudden they became affected. But as it's already been mentioned, people have gone to doctors because of injuries, surgeries, different things. And unfortunately, it led to a road of addiction. But we at the Englewood Police Department are grateful that even as this impacts our community, we're hearing so many positive messages out there, talking about being a stigma-free community, talking about all of these different programs, the LEADS program, community policing programs, where we can go into the schools, the junior police academies, where we can connect with young people and try to give them some of the tools that they will need in order to be successful in life and hopefully to even prevent some people from making choices that may lead them down the road of addiction. No longer is it taboo when you hear about people who go to NA meetings and AA meetings and people who are struggling with mental health challenges. It's wonderful to see a community that can talk about these things and that we are not struggling in silence, but we're all partnering together. The police department, the prosecutor's office, the court systems, the doctors, everybody. It's so important for all of us to partner together to help make our communities better. And so, yes, this impacts our communities, but we're all working together to make all of our communities better. Thank you for this opportunity to share on this evening. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that was inspiring. Thank you. And we really enjoy going into Englewood High School. It's just such a pleasure. And, just being able to talk to the kids, especially about here, there's a lot to be said about marijuana right now and, yes. And vaping and alcohol. It's very important to touch on those. And so thank you for the opportunity over there in Englewood. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is Leo here? Does he want to say hi?
I'm not sure if he's on yet. I know he was in another meeting. He may join us hopefully.
No problem. And we're looking forward to welcoming him, too, because he's just starting off. So he's now the chief officer, right?
So he is taking my place in the juvenile division. He's the officer in charge of the juvenile bureau.
That's awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your service at the school. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on along, we are now going to be able to I believe Shelby Klein. Shelby is the director of the Bergen County Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services. You hear that? You hear those words together, mental health and addiction services. Thank you, Shelby, for bringing these two entities together, because they are very much a blend, and we do appreciate that. You're going to talk about more about the Narcan services that you have available for the county, correct?
Yes, thank you, Nancy, for inviting me to join tonight and being part of the conversation. As everyone before me has said, it really is about collaboration, and it's about connections. And you know, my office, the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, it's a newly merged division. The Mental Health and Addiction, just short of a year ago, it was merged together. And it does recognize that, and even as Detective Sergeant Miller just mentioned, you know, stigma is tied across both of those areas, and we lead the Stigma-Free Initiative across the county as well, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. But our office, a lot of our efforts is around raising awareness, and we do that across the entire continuum of addiction-related services, everything from prevention to early intervention, treatment services, and recovery supports. Most of our work is around planning and, as I mentioned, raising awareness. We fund a lot of the providers and services in the community to do the work in those areas. We directly provide a little bit, but it's really about partnering in the community and letting experts in different areas do their thing that they're good at. So specific to Narcan or naloxone, our county is able to do a couple of things in this area, and we have some more kind of lined up for hopefully in 2023. First, as you can see by the slide, we host Narcan trainings on a quarterly basis. Those who attend these trainings are provided Narcan kits. They are geared towards the general public to participate. The next one is coming up in March, and we also have one scheduled for May 9th, September 12th, and December 12th this year. They are all online. They are all in the evening. But our office is also able to distribute Narcan kits, and we have them packaged in these little packages. And in addition to the Narcan in here are some personal safety kind of items, such as gloves and a face shield in case CPR might be administered or something else. But it's been mentioned before, we also include the Stop the ODs contact card as a resource in the kit. These kits we're able to distribute to the public. There is information up on the slide of how to obtain one of the kits, and we are happy to get them into the hands of the community, especially in places and with people who are more likely to know somebody or who you know, maybe at risk of overdosing. Often the recovery community carries kits in case you know, somebody they know experiences an overdose. But as I mentioned, we are able to provide these to the community at large. And we are able to do on a limited basis some like in-service types trainings. I know Nadera is coming up and we'll be doing that for the group tonight. But if you need a kit to go along with what he's going to teach you, we have them just contact our offices. We also are anticipating bringing a Hope One vehicle to Bergen County in 2023. It's been on order for almost a year now, but with vehicle shortages, it has not come in yet. The intent of that vehicle is to be going out into the community with things like Narcan kits, with a variety of stakeholders riding on board, to be available to provide resources, to engage somebody who might be ready and willing to engage in conversations about treatment, or maybe people who aren't ready to engage in treatment, but are at least ready to talk to a peer recovery specialist at that point in time. So we hope to launch that in the upcoming year. And, you know, going along with raising awareness, which that vehicle certainly will do as it rides around the county, we are open, ready, and willing to provide a variety of training in the community, like mental health first aid and suicide prevention trainings as well, free to the community. They include components specifically around substance use disorders. And, you know, as everybody's message tonight has said, you know, it's about saving lives. The numbers keep increasing, and we really want to help as many people as we can and save those lives. And we are all working hard collaboratively to get that done.
I couldn't agree with you more, Shelby. My goodness. I put these important links in here that you mentioned about where to get the Narcan kits if you want them. That's at the very top of the chat. And then there's another one for the training that I put in there. And if there's any other links you think that might be helpful that people might want to hold, like keep, if you could just add them to the chat, that would be awesome. It's so important we all just start like learning more and being filled with knowledge. It's if we're not going to do that, we don't stand a chance. Besides connection, we need to have good knowledge, and thank you for providing it. That leads me to Al Nadera. So Al is a director of nursing at the Monsignor Wall Clinic, which is located on the Bergen Newbridge grounds and has been for many, many years. He is there to provide help through Straight and Narrow, and he can tell you more about him, but he's here to always, he's like our medical liaison for alumni in recovery. He does a quick demonstration, and so we all understand Narcan a little better. Thank you, Al.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Morgan, how do I advance? Do I ask you to advance the slide for me?
Yeah, I could just, if you just tell me next, I'll press next.
Okay, very good. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Shelby, for your information. We too here in Paramus have been distributing Narcans, part of the, I sit on the Board of Health Commission, and I've been giving trainings in our public library, Office of Emergency Management Department, as well as the fire department. And we've distributed at least 150 Narcan kits just within the last month. You know, we can receive Narcan from the state. There is a link that I could give where you can at least get at least 200 Narcans for your facility in order to distribute them to our community. You know, Narcan saves lives. And I want to address this to the participants here. I believe there's like 53 folks that are tuning in. And this message is for you, all right? Narcan saves lives. 10, 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago, we were just reactive response on overdoses. Because Narcan was not readily available sometimes in overdose situations. They don't get the Narcan until they're in the emergency room. They need to establish a line in order to provide that Narcan. But more recently, it's more have been a proactive response, which means the community needs to know how to use Narcan. The mothers, the brothers, the fathers, the uncles, those relatives who know that they have a family member who's having a difficulty with their drug addiction need to be equipped with Narcan and be prepared to administer it. Very often we hear stories of moms knocking at their son's door Sunday morning and finding out that their son is down on the ground, unresponsive, without breathing, needles on the ground, needles around the bags of heroin surrounding him. So we need to equip each and every one of our community members with Narcan and give them the education. The next slide, please. All right, well, we all know fentanyl is the culprit that is the main. We've had overdoses in the past, but once the influx of fentanyl, that's when the increase of overdose deaths have come up rapidly. If you notice, it doesn't take much fentanyl to be laced into heroin to kill an individual. And that is a problem. Next slide, please. And that's the key graph there back in 2017, that the exponential rise in overdose deaths due to fentanyl influx here in New Jersey. The next slide. Most of these statistics have already been provided by Prosecutor Musella. Now here's a slide of how it's now being distributed. We've seen images of candies, of gummies being exported here from other countries, usually in the southern border, and this was a very big scare during the Halloween season. You notice on the top as well, Percocet is now being peddled as fentanyl. And also it's been laced into marijuana, cocaine, kratom, other substances. So it's there. In our facility, we do a urine drug screen on our clients, those who are having treatment. And I would tell you that 99.9% of them who test positive for heroin has fentanyl in them. It is there. It is out there. You go in the streets of Patterson by Rosa Parks, there are blocks where they just sell fentanyl. So it's there. It's very deadly. Next slide, please. And again, just some statistics that the Prosecutor Musella have spoken earlier. This was back from 2022 to January 2022 to October of last year, with 2,422 suspected overdose deaths. But look at the next box there, 12,000 Narcan administration. How many people have been saved with that? I also follow the Office of the Chief State Medical Examiner week by week. I think I mentioned this we discussed this before the meeting. And if you look at some of the statistics that, and this is a weekly report from 12/12 to 12/18, there were 61 suspected overdose deaths in New Jersey, 2 in Bergen County. The following week, 53 in the state, 5 in Bergen County. 12/26 to the 1st of this year, 68 in New Jersey and 6 in Bergen County, followed by 54 and 2 in Bergen County. So next slide, please. Now, this is just last week. 58 in the state was reported, and out of that, 5 were in Bergen County. I don't have the exact details of which part of Bergen County, but that's the report that they get each and every week. So those are the sad statistics, and we need to equip ourselves with Narcan. So for the folks listening, I'll show you the next slide. Okay, well, this is another statistics that Prosecutor Musella informed us, and the good part about it is that they deploy. Okay, this is Narcan for those who are participating here and watching. It comes out of the box in this manner, the one on the right. Okay, there's 2 in every box that you receive in your kit. Next slide. And this is the proper way to hold and secure Narcan. Now, again, there are more detailed in-services and online trainings for Narcan. So I'm just going to rapidly give you slide after slide so we can go ahead with this discussion. But this is the proper way to hold that Narcan spray. Inside is 4 milligrams of atomized spray that you can deliver into a person who is overdosing. Okay, next slide, please. The proper way to instill is sprayed into the nostrils. How deep you go down is when the knuckles touches the edge of the nose and you give 1 burst. Again, it's about the spray of a neosynephrine up in a mist of air. All right, and that delivers 4 milligrams of Narcan into the mucosal area, which is very porous, into the bloodstream, straight into our brain to reverse that overdose. Next slide, please. All right, basically what's going on here is that in our receptors, in our brain, in our nerve cells, our neurotransmitter sites, receptors, when opioid comes in and sits on that one, it takes effect. Low dose opioids is analgesic. We use opiates for pain relief, but then it also gives us some euphoria. But too much of those opioids can result in overdose. The breathing cessation. Okay, we start not breathing, and we don't breathe, you go into cardiac arrest. And that's the overdose part of it. And how Narcan works is the next slide, is that Narcan has what we call a higher affinity. Its molecular structure was able to knock out the opiates, those small silver balls, out of that receptor site, thereby reversing the overdose. The patient starts to breathe, they start to wake up, and you get to save their lives. All right, so again, I wanna encourage everybody to please go online, your community. In Paramus, we do our training. If you go into our website for the Paramus Board of Health, you will find schedules there for trainings that we do, live trainings, and we're able to distribute Narcan as well. Again, Narcan saves lives, and we need to make sure that we are equipped with Narcan. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Okay, good. And everybody go pick up your Narcan kit from the county too, and tell your friends. Again, this will be recorded. Please share it with others. And we will also be telling people through our social media, and we always share it in email blast after the recording. So thank you, Al. It's a pleasure to have you here and here. So I would like to just continue the well-rounded picture we have here of our county services. Our county provides so many services through Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. I worked at Bergen Regional, Bergen Pines, which was, as we know, before Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. And it is just a prime space that people can get help in our county. And we need to hear from our people at Bergen Newbridge a lot. And so we always welcome them to come and make sure that the public knows what's available to them. So I do believe we have, I see Mike's face, but-
Well, hi.
Hi.
Hi. I wouldn't miss it for even my son's birthday. But anyhow, we have Chris Rusk and Rob, who I believe are going to speak tonight.
Yes, they're somewhere here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having us, Nancy. The Alumni in Recovery, it's such a great collaboration. Your pizza positivity, including us in community events like this. It's such a pleasure to work with you and your organization. So for everyone else on the call, my name is Chris Rusk. I'm the Director of Medication Assisted Treatment and Recovery Support Services at Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. And we're very proud of the Recovery Center and what we've been able to build there. And really, the vision there is to just create a lot more than a drop-in center. It's more of just a place where there could be linkage to resources, whether it's secondary issues we know are a direct result or have a direct impact on people's ability to maintain their sobriety, like employment or legal issues or housing or resources for family. We run specialty groups. Just a lot of positive options and linkages to the recovery community designed to just increase people's recovery capital, even just things like positive recreational opportunities for people in recovery. And it really kind of follows the no wrong door approach that we try to take with substance use and mental health treatment at Bergen Newbridge. Just the idea that someone can come in at really any level and have barrier-free access to linkage across the full continuum of care, plus all of the other services of the medical center, whether it's primary care or specialty medical services. And so I wanted to introduce Rob. He's one of our peer recovery specialists, to just talk a little bit about what he does and what we're doing, because we're really starting to cycle up a lot of our offerings, especially now that with some of the restrictions with COVID, being able to come back to in-person, obviously with all of the safety and following the CDC guidelines. But we do want to be able to have as much that we can provide to the community as possible. So, Rob, I'll turn it over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chris, for that intro. Everybody, my name is Rob. I am a peer recovery specialist over at Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. And Nancy, how are you? I miss you. Is everything good? I did that for Mike right there. Well, let me tell you. The recovery center, thank you. I got you. You know it, Nancy. But the recovery center to me is amazing, to be honest with you. It's a little like a drop-in center. Yes, it is. I call it the living room of the hospital because there's couches there. You got the computer there. You have the TV there. As long as you ask, the remote's right there. We'll put anything. I've put on sessions of like AA meetings up there. Some speaker meetings up there. I've put in some little like therapy. Maybe some relapse prevention tips, things like that I've shown like the clients when we're in there hanging out. I go in there with my with the laptop. I'll put on a meeting for them if they're just hanging out waiting for the doctor. It's just a place for recovery for people in recovery, made by people in recovery. You know, that is people, I meet them where they're at. You know what I mean? I have clients that I see every day that are in a different level, whether they're in IOP, they're in detox, or they're in the short term. They're getting ready to go to long term. They're thinking sober living. They're thinking work. They're thinking schooling. I'm helping them get that. Whatever question they come to me with, that's my job. I'm gonna get you an answer, because I know what it's like. I get that. Everybody hears no so many times and they get tired, but I'm just that positive guy right behind them, telling them not to give up. Because you can hear so many no's, but sooner or later somebody's gonna say yes. Trust me, it happened to me. That's what I tell them. I've told guys how I did it, how I ended up working at Newbridge, and now there's a couple people who were clients not too long ago working there now, and it's very impressive to see that when people take the suggestions, it works. And it's amazing to see, because now, like Chris said, we're also opening up a lot more because of how COVID, all that stuff has changed. So we're getting ready to get a men's group going. I'm in talks with someone who wants to do a women's group. I'm in talk of a guy there's going to be Narcan now over there. Whereas there's a lot of things are opening up. We're trying to get some way so we could do some physical stuff, maybe get a little gym session in for a half hour, just something for the end of the day when everybody's done with work, real quick before you go home, just a little quick 30-minute session with us. You know, we have our game nights. First Friday of every month, there's a game night, 4 to 6. I can put that out there if you guys want that. We have a lot of fun, you know. It's me and my teammates. That's what we are. We're a team, and we work really well together. There's where someone lacks, the other one picks up. So I have nothing wrong with that, because I couldn't do it without them, really. My friend Carmen and Mo and Christine and even Lisa, we're a squad, to be honest. And it's unstoppable the way that we've been going, because we're reaching out to everybody. We're going to Hudson County, we're going to Bergen County, Passaic County. I spoke at Englewood the other night, in the Englewood High, and I loved it. I also help out with Team Thrive. Somebody was there that I knew, and that was amazing that he was still doing good, because he told me he was only going to stay sober for the program. It's been 5 months and he's still doing good. That's amazing to me that a teenager took that from just little conversations that I had with him. That's what I like, you see. So yeah, you know, like I said, it's a place to learn a little bit more about the recovery that you want. Because I am not a big buck thumper. I have nothing against A or NA. I love it. I go to meetings, but there's plenty of other ways to get sober as well. Whether they want to go a holistic way, if they want to go a church way, if they want to do therapy, they can do another 12-step program. There's smart recovery. I've been hearing of a thing called Life Ring that I'm looking into. There's Dharma recovery. You know, there's a lot of things out there that I'm just trying to open. I'm trying to have as many options for them so that they could pick and choose what they like. That's what I want for them, because when you're told to just go to one place and it doesn't work, you feel like giving up. So options is something that you never have when you're using. They're not using anymore. So we got options for you now. That's what I like to make them feel. So I think that's it. That's it. Thank you guys. Yeah, I just appreciate the time, Nancy. And you know, anytime I'm here for you.
Thank you, Rob. But I do want to also add.
You too, Mike.
I want to add the family night also that we started on Tuesday nights, right? And
Thursday night, 7 o'clock. It's more of a psychoeducational group. So it's really just for the families to come in and just to talk on their side what they feel, whatever they're going through, you know, because and now that we're starting a Narcan meeting, there's pamphlets there now that they can read on and learn more about. So that connection that they made is just, I think it's going to work out great.
And that's exciting. Just to add that our Narcan, which is really a 12-step fellowship, you know, for people that have loved ones that are either using or in recovery, will coincide with the same time as our intensive outpatient and our adult program. So you could have, you know, a family member going to the recovery center while the loved one is actually in treatment. So thank you for bringing it up, Rob.
And Nancy, as we get finalized with some of these activities that we're going to be having, we could certainly send that out to be able to share with the community as well.
Great. Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. I know that I used to do the meditation meeting there through the recovery center. Al and I were there all the time. And it was just a fantastic ability of space for us. It was during, you know, COVID times, but we were able to hold it there. And that was really important. So I'm going to sound really cheesy for just a second, but you guys have created a new bridge at Bergen New Bridge Medical Center because that is an important link, you know, because you have like working there and you discharge somebody and you want to just make sure they have that connection. And, you know, you feel like you're just sending them off, you know, and good luck. And I hope you just follow what we're telling you. And here you go right through the doors of F1, and you can just walk right into the recovery center and just go back whenever you want. And it's a free service, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
And you have services for teens too.
We do.
Great.
We have we don't technically have an adolescent recovery center per se, but our recovery specialists are active in the Teen Thrive program.
That is really good to know. So yes, we always were more than happy to share your information with people. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nancy.
Great. And thank Mikey for sharing you on your birthday, Michael.
Yeah. It's easy to remember his age. He was born in 2000, so 23rd.
Well, that helps. That helps. You got a lot to think of. All right. This has been an amazing event. The Prosecutor Musella, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I just want to again wish everybody a happy new year. And I just want to again thank everyone on this call, all our partners and everyone in Bergen County Law Enforcement for, again, your service every day, your hard work every day, your dedication, your sacrifice. And I think we're making a difference. And again, I draw inspiration from all of you out there. Thank you for hosting this event, Nancy, because it's time that we recognize the efforts of all of us, and just every month, I think, again, you draw attention to this, and it's a really good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. We got to keep sharing this. Oh, I almost forgot. This is really important. This is a Bergen New Bridge event, the Black Poster Project. We got Dee Gillen on here, and Dee is the creator of the Black Poster Project, which is about 560 lives lost right now. Do you have about 560 posters there, Dee?
Yeah.
Hey, Dee. Hey.
Hi.
Dee Gillen, everybody. She has the Black Poster Project. She brings it for Black Balloon Day. You want to just say just a couple words about Black Balloon Day over at Bergen New Bridge?
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of words in general, though. Bouncing off of what Mike just said, I spent years in those rooms at Bergen New Bridge, and you know, my son died in 2015, and I can't tell you what I learned in those rooms, how it just flooded to the surface. So, you know, thank you for that. But also, I just want to thank all of you for being a part of this puzzle that you all are part of, like we're all part of this. And I feel very honored to be part of it and working alongside of all of you, you know, in every aspect. It's just so important. I wish I was representing the other side of success, but I'm not. My son passed from overdose and fentanyl, but that side is always important too. So we're going to be at Bergen New Bridge on March 5th. March 6th is Black Balloon Day, but we're doing it on Sunday, March 5th. So I hope to see you all there. It's, you know, going to be a really nice event, memorializing the people that we've lost, but also celebrating the people that are here, which is most important on this day. So thank you all. Thanks for doing this, Nancy. It's really important. Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks. It takes all of us, and it takes all sorts of different facets of our county. But yes, Black Balloon Day event is open to the public. You'll see more about it later. And we also you will see more about it. We'll be pushing it out in our social media, as will Bergen New Bridge and the Black Poster Project, and all of our different partners. And also, we just have, visit our website anytime. We've got lots of different programs that we offer for teens and police to work together, to bring pizza to the hospital. We can paint rocks. We can do all sorts of different things, and we can hold events. Most importantly, we like to go into the schools and talk to the kids, about where our people in recovery are when we were at their age, like Rob was talking. And yes, and visit our store. We have a little store. You can always help us if to just buy like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or bracelets. And I just can't thank everybody enough for being here, because most importantly, it takes all of you. I can't thank the police enough for just, again, showing up on all those overdose calls. We all thank you so much, for saving so many people and those that you can't save them. And it's really honorable, hard work. And but you put your heart into it, and we know that because you keep talking about it. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Prosecutor Musella, thank you for always being here. We'll be back again in March, and we always keep these recorded on the Alumni and Recovery YouTube channel. Morgan, thank you. Morgan, our video producer, everybody. We couldn't do this without Morgan. Okay, thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Al. Thank you, everybody from Bergen Newbridge. And thank you, everybody that came on tonight. Appreciate it. Thanks, Dee.
Good night.